In this video, we are exploring how to create Zapier agents. These are AI team members, you can think about them, that you can use and implement for a specific use case. I've spent some time playing around with them, built a few agents for myself, and I think there is something that you might find useful in Zapier agents and implementing them for yourself and leveraging them to either scale what you're doing it better, or freeing up your time so that you can focus on higher leverage things for your business or life. And in this video, we are particularly exploring building a Zapier agent to pass through your emails, and whenever there is an opportunity to create a new lead in your database automatically, and then you can just go to your Notion database and pass through the potential leads, reach out to them, view more context. And that's what we're looking at today. So let's dive into it. In this example, in this case, we have this deals database where we store potential clients before the sales is closed. So let's say this is a sales pipeline or sales management system, and this is what a deal looks like. There's some properties here. You can set the source, we can set the value, last contact date, and then the page body like so. So the whole purpose of this video is to find out how might we automate adding deals to this database from emails. And we know that sometimes emails might contain a potential lead, but it is not that straightforward to actually parse through them for, let's say, a classic automation scenario. We can't really say, without using any judgment from a human or another intelligent agent, to say whether an email actually contains an opportunity and is an actual potential lead or not. So that's why using an AI agent for this use case might be useful, because then we can get the email content together with the subject, maybe also the context about the person sending that email, pass through it, and then determine whether we can create a lead or not. So let's go to agents.zapier.com. I think this is still even better at the time I'm recording this video, so there might be changes when you're watching this. That's what it looks like right now, and I'm going to create a new custom agent here. I'm going to title this emails to lead, and I'm going to start from scratch. There are also templates on the left side of my menu, as you can see. Okay, the first thing that I notice here is that there is a chat interface where I can chat with the agent here, and then I can see there are some links in here. And what I want to do is create a behavior, because a behavior is essentially an automation that uses AI. So I'm going to create a behavior here, and I'm going to set the instructions in text format, and Zapier will build something akin to a Zap with multiple steps, including AI. So I'm going to write the instructions. Here are the instructions that I write, and you can customize this as you need. In this case, the instructions are: analyze the email content and subject line and determine if this is a lead/potential client. Take into account the email content, subject, and do a research on the internet about the sender of the email. Gather data such as the company they work for, website, LinkedIn profile, and fun facts. If the email is a lead/potential client, add it to Notion. And then here there is a dynamic action step. Include the email thread URL in the notes. Otherwise, ignore it and do nothing. So I inserted this token by selecting take action. And then here you can see that it is a bit like you're building a step in a Zap. So you can select the app and then the specific action. In my case, I selected Notion and create database item, because I want to create a lead if the email contains a potential opportunity. Now, if you want to get more sophisticated, we can first add a step to search for the lead in the database. If it's already there, then it shouldn't be created. For now, because that's an example, I'm going to keep it simple and just show you what it looks like with one dynamic action, but you can insert as many as you like in here in the instructions prompt. And when you select that token, then there are all the settings. So the first thing that you want to do is connect a Notion account, which I did here. Then you want to select the database where you want to add that content. And this can also be set dynamically, meaning let your agent select a value for this field. If you want the agent to select the correct database where to add the info based on the result of the research. And then if instead you select it manually, then you can also map each property in the database and how you want that to be populated. If you want the agent to generate a value, if you want to leave that empty, or if you want to set a predefined specific value beforehand. So for example, here I said reason lost, do not include a value for this field, because this is only used when the lead is lost. And that is include time with date fields. I don't care about this, so do not include a value. I do not want to add any owner, so I did do not include a value here. And then for notes, I set it to let your agent generate a value for this field, because based on the research, I want the agent to add the notes about that person in that field. Same for the value, same for the source. And for the status, I want to set a specific value that is new deal, so that it's always like that whenever it runs. So that's how I have it set up, and that's the instructions. Then another important step is to set the trigger of this agent or behavior within the agent, because an agent can have multiple behaviors and this is only one of them. And within the trigger, I set Gmail, new email. So whenever there is a new email, in my Gmail account within the inbox. Then this agent would run. It would analyze the email, determine whether it's a potential lead. If it is, it would do a Google research about the person and then add the lead to the Notion database. And this is what it looks like. So in the Notion database, there's a test example that I ran. There is the name, there is the status, and I can see the notes here that were generated automatically by the Zapier agent based on the research online. Then this is a lead in Notion, so I can set the template, I can set the value, and I can track it through the pipeline as we go along. So now, let's test it out and see if it works well. And to test it out, I'm gonna submit this form on my website that would end up in my inbox and then test the behavior in Zapier. So in here, I'm gonna set my name, my email, and then a message that is an opportunity. So let's see if the Zapier agent can actually pick up on this and add the lead to Notion. So I'm gonna send it out. Then we're gonna go back here. I'm gonna do test behavior, and now we are testing it. So we're gonna approve the steps manually, but once this is on, this would run automatically whenever there is a new email. It is quite instantaneous, so you do not have to be here checking things out. So the first thing that I see here when testing is there was an email included here, and I can see that it is the latest one that I just sent. As you can see, it's Simo test. There is the content that I sent and all the other metadata that comes with that form from the website. So this looks like an opportunity. And you can see here now the emails to lead agent is researching info about the lead. And there's the tool, there is Google search. And when I open it, I can see the specific results that were provided by that researcher. And I can see that the person is actually the right one. So in this case, based on the email domain, it researched the internet. And here it is with the name Simo test. And you can see that here actually the AI agent determined that this is a test submission to your contact form. And so it didn't continue and it doesn't add the lead to Notion. This makes sense. So let's try again with a more realistic name. All right, same form, different data, real name, send. Let's go back here and let's retest. This is the latest email. Now searching info. Okay, you can see that this was successful. It determined that this is a potential lead. So it is generating the action preview for the create database item in Notion. And this takes a few seconds. And then because that's a test, it shows me this is what it looks like. If we add the page to Notion, I'm going to add it to the deals database. The name would be the name of the contact of the person that's submitting the form. The source is website and the status is new deal. And the email thread URL is this one. So now you can see here that it added the email thread URL, but no notes about the lead. Ideally, I would like to have both. So in that case, I would need to refine the prompt, the instructions here, to make sure that this is consistently happening, that it adds both the notes from the research plus the email thread. In this case, I'm going to approve just to show you what it looks like. And once I approve it, now it is working on it, action in progress. And after a few seconds, if everything is successful, it creates a new page in Notion. And in this case, it is successful. So if I go back to Notion, I will now see the new deal, Simo with the email thread, the source. And in here, if I click on the thread, it will bring me to the email conversation with that person. So that's how it works. Now, if I activate it, this will run automatically by itself and add leads on an ongoing basis based on the emails that I receive. And that's how it works. If I want to go a step further, I can then also set a more complex scenario where I also tell it to create a contact and link it to the deal based on the email details, and also populate the last contacted date maybe, and also maybe put an estimated value based on the industry, based on the company and similar companies out there based on the Google search. So this can become as sophisticated or as simple as you like it to be. Once I activate it, then if I go back, I'm not going to activate it now, but you can see what it looks like here. I go back, there is the chat, so I can always chat about this specific agent. I can create new chats, and if I go to configure, I can then see the name, the description, data sources. I can also add data sources here. Right now, there are a few standard ones. You can also upload files or use one of these apps. Data sources are useful to access knowledge. For example, in our use case, if you want to determine the value of the lead based on existing leads in our database and based on the industry of the company that the lead is. And so for that, we could connect Notion. We could give it access to the leads database so that we can use past data to inform current data. And there are behaviors, and one of the behaviors that we created was the one that we just tested. Then we can create as many as we like. That's it for this video. If you have questions, let me know in the comments below. You will find relevant links in the description. For now, thank you for watching and see you soon.